Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensie Owl Bob. Here we are. Let's see. We got live chat going, so you guys can chime in. I don't have my glasses. I put them someplace. I can't find them. So you're going to have to put everything in capitals so I can read it. That would be nice. And it's not screaming at me. You know, it's not no matter to do that. You're on Dreamy Dreamland. Actually, there are very few rules here. You can actually say whatever you want to say, but you got to do it with respect. And the person you need to respect is yourself. So most trolls, when they troll, they're basically trolling themselves, right? And I've been on here now 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 7 years, right? And we've had tons of all different people. And one of the beauties of Dreamy Dreamland is that we are the shamanic pebble in the World Wide Web, right? And so what does that mean? What is shamanism, right? It's like every other ism. It's capitalism and socialism and fascism and Islamism. No, you get what I mean. Basically, it's a world view, you know, and the shamanic worldview is a all-inclusive, right? Very, very, very inclusive. And it doesn't take it from a religious point of view, right? More theological point of view, right? More historical point of view. And so it's looking at everything as through the window of the psychosocial, cultural, forensic anthropologist, to end with a product that is alchemical, meaning here we are, our bodies, we aren't our bodies. Our body is basically a bag of water with some trace elements, and it is animated through the prana, the love of the Creator, right? Now, is that God? The Creator is, you know, the unknowable, right? God seems to stick a pin in it, right? And this is what it is, you know, God of the Old Testament, really? So, what's that God of the Old Testament? Did you know that the translation of so the Old Testament is the Torah, right, of the Hebrew religion, right? And but there are two other books. You know, there's the Tabla, and then there's the Kabbalah. And you know, the Tabla is more the esoteric. What is that word? Is it spooky? Is it scary? Is it devil worship? No. Esoteric means hidden knowledge. That's all it means, right? And occult, right? What that is hidden knowledge that is overstanding, right? Because when you understand something, you're underneath it. They're stepping on you, right? So, this is what Dreamy Dreamland with Sensie Owl Bob, me, your sensei, your griot here to tell you a story. That's what we've been doing for 7 years. Telling stories, and don't believe a word I say, you know. Everything that I put forth is just a very subjective point of view from my experience, from my shamanic window, right? And I'm viewing everything through the psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic point of view to get a alchemical, right? So what is that alchemical product? It's the gold of wisdom, right? So, if you're interested in this, there you go. There it is. You know, there I am. And I do these shows whenever I can. I have no internet. I live way out in the middle of nowhere, even though the cockroach clandestine clan of the ne'er-do-well people who think they're wealthy. And all they are is you know, cockroaches set out in a box by the hidden hand to basically gobble up whatever is organically pure, right? So out here in the Appalachian Mountains, you have this culture that is amazing. And people from California and Texas and Florida and, you know, you name it, Seattle, San Francisco, Charlotte, North Carolina, all those people are coming here because, you know, they were cockroaches and destroyed whatever part of wherever they were at the time, right? So now they come here and, oh, wow, look, I can get this beautiful people for nothing. I can cheat and steal and lie, and they don't even hear. They're so gullible. Oh, my God, it's so good. And, oh, look, this total, you know, amazing, horrific thing happened to the people of Tennessee and North Carolina, and we can steal everything from them. They won't even know. They're in such PTSD. We'll just take it from them. Oh, isn't that great? It's so great to be that kind of scumbag. And that's America, right? We've been a scumbag ever since Christopher Columbus, right? People don't want to hear that. You know, that's cancel culture. Sorry, that's, if you were a true scholar and not an academic, you might know something, right? An academic just wants to go along to get along, so they constantly regurgitate what's ever in the textbook. And who writes the textbook, but Big Brother writes the textbook. Go watch that movie. I really love that movie. Let's see what Google will tell me. Come on, Google. Big Brother movie made in England in the 60s. No. Big Brother movie, 1984. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
See, here we go. This is what I was looking for. 1984, George Orwell's full movie. As you can see, I am Big Brother in the background, the hidden hand, the all-knowing Oz. Get away, Toto, get away. I don't want to. Get away, Toto, get away. So this movie's on YouTube. You guys should go look it up. 1984, George Orwell. It was made in the 60s. This is the one I think it is. This is the story of the future, not the future of spaceships and men from other planets.
From the devastation wrought by the atomic raids of 1965, three great police states rose to divide the world: Oceania, Eurasia, and East Asia. Atomic weapons were abolished, but not war itself. Only by maintaining the strain and tension of continual conflict could the ruling parties enforce absolute power. London, with its bomb-proof ministries, became capital of Airstrip 1, a province of Oceania. Take cover, everybody. Take cover, everybody. Special bulletin from the Ministry of Peace. Eurasian rocket bombs are approaching London. Take cover. Take cover.
Kind of looks like the Gaza Strip, right? Well, this was London in the 60s when they made this movie. And the first time I went to Europe, it was about this time when this movie was made.
Take cover. Eurasian rocket bombs are now over London. Take cover at once. Take cover at once.
Take cover at once. So that's what we are just about to step into with the war in Ukraine and the war in the Mideast. And it'll be quite interesting. And we have an election on Tuesday. Here it is Saturday. How long do you think it's going to take? I have a feeling that Israel will, if they do have nuclear weapons, I really, there's about 40% in my thought process says they don't have them. They've just been pretending to have them to keep people at bay, right? And that's the best thing about nuclear weapons is not having to use them, right? So, but if they do, I bet you dollars to donuts that because, you know, they went and tried to strike Iran and they were shown that the air power is, you know, the protection from Israel air power is pretty thorough. And and, you know, Israel didn't really, like when they went in after the leaders of, you know, Hezbollah that was in, or Hamas that was in, you know, Tehran, their aircraft went straight in, right, and didn't get shot down. But since then, their air defense has been really stocked up. So, and now we have a number of airstrike groups, aircraft carriers out there in the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, all around. And they've been out there for almost a year. So they are tired, they're stressed, and so is the IDF. They were designed. The IDF was never designed to be the IOF, you know, the Israeli Offensive Force, and that's what they have been doing. And so they've worn themselves down. They're their own worst enemy. And so Hezbollah and Iran, not so much. And you know, Hamas, even though they're getting destroyed, they are like still picking the Israelis off, right? They haven't lost, you know, and that's winning. After a year of massive destruction and, you know, probably 200,000 innocent lives taken by Israel. I mean, people never know because basically all those bodies are underneath slabs of concrete and they've already disintegrated. So this is the world we are right on the precipice, right? So what do you want to know, right? Let's hear, you know, you're all about Donald Trump. He's going to win and he'll be our savior. Or is the girl going to save us? No. What's going to save us is ourselves. In co-creation with love's co-creation. That's what's going to happen. And that's the unexpected, that the power structure has been wielding war and rumors of war and famines and pandemics and, you know, just to keep the poor people down. Just, I mean, that's what our pandemic of the last, you know, 4 years has been. It's like, so good luck with that, you know? What do you think? Come on, let's hear something from you. That's what the show is about. It's about you talking to the cadre. You know, I'm giving an open, free voice to talk to billions of people, right? So say what you want to say. I'm not going to say, oh, you can't say that. I mean, I was having my car fixed today, oil change and making sure these guys are relatively righteous. So they checked everything and gave me all the fluids and et cetera, et cetera. And so they, and they checked everything and did all that and only charged me $35. You can't beat that in today's world. But I had to wait, right? I didn't have to, they couldn't just push me right in, so I had to wait about an hour. So I talked to a lot of people, and I was wearing my, do I have it? No, I don't have it. My Praise Jesus hat, right? And it's red, so everybody thinks I'm, Donnie. And Don, we've already experienced Donald. Did he ruin us? No. What he was mass confusion and an insane clown party. And it was kind of fun, meaning I had no care to have an expectation of what this government's going to be, because I've observed this government. I got paid for 50 years observing different elements of our culture through the shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic view screen. I was always the guy outside the box, and that's all the powers that be would always say, we love you, Al, but if there are any more of you, we'd have to kill you. So I am a one-off character, right? And all of my mentors and teachers basically said, whoa. And why I have health care today is because I'm dead. And none of my doctors can believe that I'm still alive, meaning in 2003, I expected the world to, go into a big mushroom cloud any second now. So when I had the opportunity to work for the corporate world, which I had been invited into many times, and I said, well, that'd be nice. Now let me think about it. But when somebody said was so desperate that we're ready, willing, and able to throw Owl Bob into the mix, and then I was unbelievably successful, I had a career. And I did that for 10 years. And I didn't have to work more than 8 months. No, excuse me. I didn't have to work more than 8 weeks a year to get close to a six-figure salary. I never went over it. I always stayed under it. And I had a good accountant that showed how every nickel I made was spent in the behooval of, the auspices of a charity or my business expense, right? So, and I followed the rules. It couldn't be any more legal than I was. I followed every rule because I had a good accountant, right? And we weren't like, like I said, I was, a good 10 grand always under the six-figure salary. So, and right now I'm living like a millionaire on $400 a month. Right? That's my disposable income, $400, So there I am. And, so when my car blew up, I didn't have a car for a year. And churchy people either took me to the place I had to go to, or they came and got me to take me to some place they wanted me to do something, or take me to doctors or this or that. But and they all loved it, because one day with Al was like exciting and fun, and they all saw. So, but after a year, they got a little tired, so they gave me one of their beaters, right? So I have this whale, a soccer mom van, and it's I had to put a good $1,800 into it. New tires, new brakes, new this, new that. And now it's front-wheel drive. It's, it does its deed. It's not as groovy as my four-wheel drive Kia, but it's doing pretty good. Don't know what I'm going to do for winter. That's the big question, because the Deep Green is an amazing place. 330 days of the year, right? There's 35 days that are iffy, right? Normally, I had a house in Florida. I had a house in Stuart, Florida, and I had a house in not Key West, but Long Pine Keys, right near Bahia Honda National State Park there. Anyway, so it was, I had the best of life, and in 2003 I started working corporate life, and I would go and deal with a problem that. I worked for these guys who had 8-figure salaries, and they were still living paycheck to paycheck. They were so overextended, it was mind-boggling. And that's why our country is in the shape it is, because all the people who are running it are morons like that, right? So they paint themselves into a corner and couldn't get out. And if they didn't fix it, that was the end of their life. That's what they thought, anyway. And I would always go in there and take care of it, right? because I listened to what everybody wanted, and not only that, I healed shamanically everyone's trauma. And once you did that, and everyone could then think lovingly and with common sense, it always worked out, right? I did that from '03 to 2014 when I died in a plate of spaghetti. And I went in 2000, I weighed about 210, right? And when I died in 2014, I was weighing in at 480 pounds. I died in a plate of spaghetti in a mobster fancy restaurant in Miami. And I woke up and they were rolling me into the ICU, and they were going to cut my legs off and do open heart surgery, quadruple bypass, and cut 20 feet out of my colon, so I'd have to crap out of a hole in my stomach into a bag, colostomy bag as they call it. And I worked in hospitals. I didn't want any of that. I said, roll me back to that ICU. And that lawyer was so freaking desperate, he told the doctor that he was my lawyer, so he had the power of attorney and could say, yes, do this. But he just was doing it because the stupid doctor said, oh, he'll be up and about in 2 weeks and take care of your business. Oh, no, I'd be dead. So I got rolled back, and they were so freaked out because I had the fentanyl in my arm, and I'm supposed to not wake up, and I just woke straight up out of being dead, saying, what are you doing? And they told me, I said, no way, and you touch me with a blade and I will own you. See that guy over there? He's a great lawyer. He'll sue your butt. He'll own this hospital. He'll own your children. He'll sell you into, gang rape, slavery. And so the guy was like, after people shit their pants. So they rolled me back to the ICU. The lawyer came, what are you doing? And I said, listen, you're not my lawyer, you're my client. You can't say that you have the power of attorney over me because, that's not good. So, listen, I'm going to take care of your problem, not a problem. But this is what I need. I don't need this. You take me down to your fancy schmancy place in the Keys, get me a colonic therapist, get me a nutritionist, an acupuncturist, a neurologist, I gave them a whole list of things I needed, and they did. And these people took it as a great challenge to get me back into homeostasis, and they did. And now I weigh back at 210. What a long, strange trip it has been. But it destroyed everything inside. My organs, my endocrinologist, he's amazed I'm still alive. And all my bones are like, because, I had septic diabetic legs, and it takes a toll, right? And all my organs took a toll, right? So they can't believe that when they do a blood test and, my blood and my body is working really, the homeostasis is humming. Yeah, when I wake up in the morning, I'm dead. I have to pray, and then I feel great pain, and then I have to work through the pain, and then I do my little physical therapy exercises. That's a physical therapist, I know what to do. So I do it, and then that gives me enough mobility and breath to slide out of bed and go outside and do my qigong and tai chi and push hands. And by that time, I'm good to go, right? And then I get up and about and do what I'm going to do. And one of the things is to talk to you guys, right? So I'm giving you a chance, to talk to the World Wide Web. What fears do you have? How do you feel right now, How are you sleeping? What your dreams have been about? My dreams are pretty prophetic all the time. And, but I only want to use that information to interact with your life. Now, this show is not about me, it's about you, right? And the keynote of this is when you guys interact. Now, right now, there's been a lull of that. I've been doing this like almost 8 years, so sometimes it's really great. It's a community, everyone's hot, they're waiting to do the show the next time. They're all ready, they got stuff they want to talk about, it's great, right? And then there's times that we've had a lull the last few days. So that means I have to go out into public and like corner people. There's a bunch of chuckleheads right here I could talk to, and that might be amusing, but they don't have a clue. Meaning, I really don't talk to people unless they're going to listen to what I have to say and going to get, and more important, get something out of it. So there's, somewhere between 2 and 8 of you guys and gals watching this. And I hope you're getting something out of this, because I'm pushing through the screen a shamanic wave, because everything is frequency. God is a frequency. He's not an old guy sitting on top of a gold toilet shitting on everybody on earth, because that God is the God of the Torah. Because you know what? Back in the day when Jesus was around, everyone spoke Greek, read Greek. Greek was like English. It was the business language, right? And not Roman, but Greek. Even the Romans spoke Greek and wrote Greek because it was a good business language. Very descriptive. And so, and very, down to business. So, there's all kinds of parts of Christianity. There were Christians before Jesus, the Gnostics, right? And the Nazarenes, and they used to call Jesus of Nazareth. It wasn't that he came from a cul-de-sac called Nazareth. No, that was a sect, right? It's like today. Today in here in the world, there are over 60,000 Southern Baptist sects, meaning separate religions. That's what a sect is, a separate religion. So the Southern Baptist whoop-de-doo is made up of 60,000, the blood of the Lamb, the Holy Scripture of the blood of the Lamb, the fleas of the blooded Lamb, it's all of the above, right? It's all about the blood, right? And so here we are, right? 26 minutes into this, probably pushing 3 something. And there's 3 of you there, and there's 1 thumbs up. How about some more thumbs up? There's 3 of you there. How about all of you smash that we like this, that thumbs up button, and subscribe. Get more subscribers. Tell your friends. Have a potluck dinner and watch. I have all my shows. All you got to do is to go to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensie Owl Bob. Go to my channel, go to videos, hit all, and single. There they are. Then you can put your finger on them and go whip, and it'll go bing, 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 bing. Kind of like a roulette wheel, and it'll be on a show. Hit it, watch it for, that's kind of interesting, watch the whole thing, or, let's watch another one. Bing, let's watch another one. Bing, that's what it's good for, because it will, it will do what ails you. It will take care of what ails you, right? Your Sensie Owl Bob right here will do what ails you, Now, I have to give props to Johnny Boy, right? Toilet Johnny Boy, the canary of self-flatulence, who basically it's all about him. And so John Boy is a great canary in the coal mine of materialism, of the suffering of the people who are all about themselves. Now me, not so much. I've died so many times, I've had so many lives, that I've realized that my life right here, this moment, I only live in a moment. Just like not what I did in the past. I don't live on my walls. I did all kinds of stuff. I got photos of everything. When you start digging into places and stuff, like if you were to dig into Soho in New York City in the early 60s, 70s, 80s, there I am, and if you look at things like collaborative artist projects, there I am. If you look into outstanding renewal, that's where we took over abandoned buildings, there I am. If you look at Manhattan TV program called Potato Wolf, there I am. I'm all over the place. If you go look at things that happen at the Fillmore East or the Lower East Side or Soho or Tribeca or Waynesburg, Brooklyn, go look at the Armory show, go look at in Brooklyn, we did a show at the Terminal show in the 80s. Look at that. Go look at the No Nukes festivals that were in, the sandbox in front of the World Trade Center. There I am, all this stuff. There I was. I wasn't doing it I was always in the background, right? I was always finding the people who were best meant for the, being out front and pushing them. You should do this, and that's what I do, right? So, it's not about me, it's about the we in me. And I learned that very early. When I died at 10, I had a really good Rogemont Bong with the powers that be as my guides on the other side. And they said, well, you're just great, buddy, and you're doing a good job. And so we're going to make sure you're a little healthier from here on in. And you really understand that your life is not about you. It's about everybody else. And that's what I want you to think about. No one said anything, so I'm going to jump off here. I'll try and do a show tomorrow, right? And I love you guys, Remember that. So here we are coming up to 30:30, and there we are.